Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is going to be a new episode of Super Film Support. As always, you know, I have a section which is called Super Film Support where you can go to the website superfilmsupport.com, fill in a little questionnaire, and I'll answer your question on a video if it's worth it. If not, I'll just write you an answer by email. Very simple, takes a couple of minutes at the most. So this week's episode is sponsored as always by camerastore.com, and this week's question is by Sergey. He says, I made an 11x14 camera. What type of lens will cover this area? Thank you very much. So, Sergey, lens coverage in large format is a tricky question because it's not like a Canon mount or a Nikon mount where you know those lenses will cover. Large format lenses kind of like some cover, some don't. Some say they won't, but they do. Some say they do, but not so much. So 11x14, first thing I'm going to say is you go to large format photography forum and you search 11x14 lenses, and there's a chart that they made, and it's a great chart and a great start. I have gone to that chart many times to answer my doubts about 11x14. I own a 11x14 Chamonix camera and I have a lot of lenses that cover it, and you can go as wide as probably a 90mm, and you might be wondering what 90mm lens will cover. Well, there's a Goertz Hypergon that covers. It's extremely rare to see and extremely expensive if you see it, going around 3,000. There's no shutter, but you're probably going to stop down the lens to f I don't know how much. So you're going to have to basically count the seconds more than, you know, be a one split of a second. Then from there you're going to probably move into the next normal size, which is probably going to be around a 150mm. You have the XL, which probably just barely covers if it does. Or you have the Nikon, the XL, I mean the Schneider Super Angulon 150 XL. Then you have the Schneider 150 XL, sorry, no. Then you have the Nikon 150 F8 that might cover. I don't have it, I can't tell you. But the one that does cover that I know of is the 165 Super Angulon F8. Oh yeah, F8. So that lens is pretty massive, but it covers 11x14. I have it, I've used it, and it's wonderful, but a 165 is really wide on 11x14. The normal lens of a 11x14 is going to be around 420 to 450mm, so 165 is really wide. Then from there you can go up to the 210 lenses. You have the Kowa graphic ones, you have the Computar lenses, you have the 210 XL that covers from Schneider. You have the 210, there's probably some other 210 that covers. Then you got 240. I've shot with the 240 F9 from Fujinon, the A series, and it covers 11x14 at least closer distances. And that's one thing about 11x14 or any large format is coverage is usually f22 at infinity. But the moment you start getting closer, that circle gets bigger. So that 240 F9 might not cover at infinity, but I was shooting pretty much from here to this camera, which is around 2 meters, and it covered wonderfully. Very sharp lens, and it's fairly inexpensive at around $400, $500. It's the Fujinon 240 F9A. Then from there you start getting into bigger lenses which are easier to cover. You got the 300s, you got the 360s, 355s. Another line of lenses that's very good and usually covers big formats are the G Claron from Schneider. So the 210 F9 might cover, the 240 F9 probably does cover, the 305 F9 it covers, I've tried it. 355mm F9 also covers, I've tried it and I own it. And then you've got the 450mm from Nikon, it's an F9 if I'm not wrong. And then you have the 450 12.5, which is a Fujinon lens that also covers. It's smaller than the Nikon, nice, kind of nicer in the size, and it covers wonderfully. And then you go to 600 Fujinon, not the tele one, but the, I think it's the C or the W, I can't remember exactly right now, but the 600mm 11.5 aperture on a Cobalt 3, that one covers no problem. And then you can start getting into the Apple Ronars, which the bigger ones will cover, not the smaller ones. They have smaller coverage. The 300 and 360 might not cover at infinity. But you do have the Artar lens from Goertz, the 24-inch, the 20-inch, the 30.5 inch, 32.52. There's a lot of longer lenses, but as I said, Large Photography Forum has a lot of the list that I just went through, and you can look it up. If you have any doubts on a specific lens, you can always write me at, superfilmsupport.com, or the email for this YouTube channel, which is the name of this YouTube channel, at gmail.com, and I'll answer you as fast as I can. So yeah, thanks for your question, Sergey. I hope you can get your 11x14 working very soon. And there's some process lenses that also cover cheaper, but I'm not an expert in those. So yeah, thanks for your question. If you have any other questions, guys, remember you can just hit me up with the link below and I'll help you out. Thank you for watching. See you next week.